Riveting content. Empowering your life. Welcome to The Sphere. This episode is sponsored by Houston Housewives of Finance. For more information on increasing your cash flow, becoming your own money manager, and to schedule your complimentary personal finance strategy, contact the Houston Housewives of Finance today at 1-844-700-4463. Elite Dental Wellness. At Elite Dental Wellness, Dr. Ashandra Batiste understands that one of the biggest obstacles is dental fear. The vision at Elite Dental Wellness is to ensure every patient is treated with respect, ultimate care, patience, and love. Call us today to make an appointment at area code 713-789-8680. Looking to advertise? Join the Sphere's vast demographic reach of thousands of people all over the world. Send an email today to advertise@thesphere.tv or call us at area code 832-772-7789.
Hey everyone, thank you for joining us for another episode of Society Now. I'm your host, Kira Laws, and you can follow me on Instagram at The Modern Day Cindy. And I'm in here with my handsome co-host on as we look very Yuletide-ish.
Yeah. What's going on? It's your man, Kayla Laws, aka Senor Wapo. Do me a quick favor. Wait, did you tell him how to follow you?
I did.
Okay.
On Instagram at The Modern Day Cindy. That's Cindy with an I, not a Y.
Make sure you go there. Click, tap, swipe, all of that. But you can do the same thing, but type in these letters. Are you ready?
They can't.
SENORGUAPO713.
Oh my God.
I'll let your boy.
You know what? When people tune into this show, you have to be ready for like all the excitement that comes with the highs and lows.
Yeah, but that's what
the infliction of tone.
For real, that's what a good show is about.
Give them energy.
Listen, shout out to Pretty Flacco.
Come on, Pretty Flacco. What's with the energy? It's about the energy, baby. It's about the energy,
baby. Shout out to Ryan.
So funny. So you're
balling in the valley.
So this is the thing. We endeavor to give them real news. You talked about that, not fake news.
Yep.
And we don't give alternative facts. We all about that.
Talking.
We're real talking. We're real talking. There's a lot of things that happened this week. Well, a lot of things have been happening in general, but in this week we're going to talk about some things that's been ongoing in the news, right? So we're going to start off with Cyntoia Brown. Cyntoia, is that how you say it? Cyntoia. Okay, Cyntoia Brown. She is the young lady who, at a young age, she said she was brought in by a guy as a sex slave, and when she waited till he was passed out or whatever. Well, anyway, she waited till he was, I guess, asleep or not alert to kill him because she thought he was going to kill her. She wasn't, she was young. She has already served a reasonable amount of time, maybe 14 years already. I think she went in when she was 16. She's 30 now. And this past week, she went up for, I guess, to request that her her case be reheard. It was reheard. They said that she could not. The Tennessee has a law that says you have to serve 3/4 of your sentence before you can be let out.
When it's a federal crime, yeah.
When it's a federal crime. So they're saying that she cannot get out until she serves at least 51 years.
51 years. She'll be 69.
Now, y'all know.
She'll be 69 years old.
Now, what makes this case interesting is because she technically is the victim. Anybody that is a sex slave, sex trafficking, all of that, you are a victim. And it's unfortunate that a victim, as we see a lot of times, victims look like or feel like they're being punished for speaking up or defending themselves. And so this is no different. Again, she was a child. She was a juvenile at the time. So there has been a call to the governor of Tennessee to say, hey, you're about to leave office next month. Before you leave, can you just grant this young lady clemency? She's already served time. She's serving more.
She's been there since she was 14, I believe.
16.
16, okay.
This is the thing. So she served 14 years already.
That's what
so
it was. Okay.
So the thing is, there are men that have been accused and convicted of rape that have served less time.
Listen, we just saw that.
Less time.
We just saw that at Baylor University.
Baylor, this guy's getting
man,
off with $400 fines.
Uh-huh.
There's guys that are only serving 3 years in jail. There's guys that are getting time served without ever stepping foot in jail. And this young lady had to worry about her life, and she defended herself, and she served 14 years already. I really think, as a matter of just integrity, you know, the justice system has a responsibility, I believe, to kind of look back at cases and not necessarily, because I feel like as a matter of law, our job is to look at precedent, but we also have to look at the facts. What does the facts say, and have we ever seen a case like this? Now, it's really imperative for those who are looking at this case to actually look at it like, have we ever seen a case where it was a young lady, a sex-trafficked young lady, who was fearful of her life as a young kid? Now, we're not talking about an adult. We're talking about a young kid. And I really think that the legal system owes her an opportunity to start over again. They said it's undisputed that she has she's been nothing but, you know, upright since she's been in jail. She's already got her degree in jail. She hasn't had any behavior issues in jail. I'm like, she's done more than a lot of adults have done in terms of being able to live past this moment in time, and it's unfortunate that she has to deal with this. So I really hope that as the Tennessee governor reviews the case, he grants her clemency, because this is a really hard thing to go down, especially when your life was such that you were a sex slave, sex trafficked.
Yeah, you know, it's disgusting. It's horrible. This is what frustrates me about the law in many different ways, right? I know that, you know, to be fair, many adjudicators, many justices, judges, DAs, attorneys, etc., they try to, you know, look at the law without an emotional connection. I mean, but we're people,
and I get
right?
that. I get that. I totally get that.
To try to remain fair. But however, you have to have common sense. And I don't know, you please tell me, you've been to law school. Mm-hmm. I don't know if they talk about that, if that's even allowed. But to me, you have to have a modicum of common sense when it comes to adjudicating. And I know the law says what the law says in Tennessee, but it frustrates me that judges oftentimes are afraid to set precedent because of a law that's on the books that may be antiquated, that may be outdated or old, or doesn't necessarily apply to X case. You see what I'm saying? It's frustrating because there's no way this young lady should be serving, what is she, 24, 20, she's 25, 26 now. She should be serving another, 51 years. There's no way she should be serving 51 years after she was a child sex slave.
Well, and what makes it even more, and I totally understand what you're saying, and I get it, because I just had a student I had to explain how the common law system works. Common law is supposed to step up and speak to issues that have not been heard before, right? So now we're looking at something that technically, when they first wrote this law that's in Tennessee, they did not consider situations like this. We didn't consider adding in the situation where someone's a sex slave and they're a minor and they're fearful of their life. You know, you have to consider a person's state of mind when they make a decision, especially when we're talking about murder or, homicide or manslaughter or whatever the case is. You have to look at a mindset, and her mindset, I'm almost certain. I think about who I was at 16 and younger. I wasn't mature enough to be able to make a life decision, but if my life was in danger, I would probably, flee, because when you see TV, they tell you to fight for your life. It's only in very rare situations that they tell you don't resist. But if you think someone's going to kill you and they have a gun, I think you're you're reasonable to believe that someone's going to kill you if you're being held with someone with a gun. So that's something to consider. I mean, you have to look at all the facts. So I don't know. I pray that as they're reviewing her case and reviewing her as a person and her time served, and looking at how other people have been treated across justice systems in the United States, especially those who walked away from higher crimes or more life-altering crimes with less time served, I think they should just allow this young lady clemency.
I agree. And I think on top of that, or in addition to that, I think that Governor, I think it's Haslam, I can't remember his name, the governor of Tennessee.
Haslam.
Haslam, thank you. Governor Haslam. I called him Balaam. I'm sorry, brother. Balaam's not a good, that's not a good
Haslam.
thing. It's Haslam.
Sorry about that.
I think, Governor Haslam has a duty, because this is a human rights violation. This is a human rights issue, again, because she has been violated over and over and over again. And what about victims' rights? What about the things that she needs for restitution, for recovery, etc. You know, she deserves clemency, and with this, you can put. I don't know what clemency is. You know, the things that go into clemency, but I'm okay with her having a provision to go get treatment, and so I'm okay with that because she's been through hell, literally, right? But again, you have a duty as a leader in government, as you know, as a politician. I really hate using the word because oftentimes people hold that to a very dark standard, which I get it, but as a leader of people, of men, and women, of government, right? You have a duty to serve people, to serve the folks who you're supposed to serve. So it's frustrating, and I think that it's a human rights issue that he needs to grant her clemency. And we're advocating that if you want to call the governor's office, Google it, call them, let them know that this is what you want. If you want to email them, it's public record. I've already done it. Our family's done it. Our friends have done it. But go ahead and support her getting clemency. I'm telling you, because it's needed, man. Something else that's needed, though, right, that we all need, especially in this time of year with these Yule tides and these gifts and these
we need money.
We need money.
Money management.
That's really what we need.
Money management, because people overspend during this time.
But,
so who's gonna help
guess, I think we know some people that can help with money management.
Help us, please.
And that's Houston Housewives of Finance.
Yes,
Did you know that only 4 states in the U.S. offer financial education? 33% of more than 77 million Americans don't pay their bills on time. 39% of Americans carry credit card debt from month to month. And 39% of Americans say they don't have enough savings. Please don't become one of these statistics. Let Houston Housewives of Finance advise you on increasing your cash flow and becoming your own money manager by scheduling a complimentary personal financial strategy. Contact Houston Housewives today at 1-844-700-4463 or email us at info@HoustonHousewivesOfFinance.com. Now, you can ask how you can participate in a complimentary, again, that means free, financial literacy workshop near you. Houston Housewives of Finance are the new faces of the new age of financial services. You dig?
You dig. I mean, again, I could talk about this all day because I feel I understand the law being what it is, but I think in a lot of areas, cases like this allow us to really review the laws that have been on the books for years, ages, decades, that we need to really look at and figure out, does it actually fit where we are in history and time right now, how we view individuals, how we view some of the things that we have put out as foundational in our legal system. Do we need to revisit some of those laws, because some of them, did not consider factors, and they might not have been broadly written. They might have been very narrow, and we need to go back and just revisit. So I'm hoping to see a victory on this one. Now, let's talk about, this is interesting. So let's talk about what's going on in Florida. So in Florida, there was a situation where a young man who played basketball with, he played basketball at a private school, right? A private school, right? Mm-hmm. And in a private school, and so in a situation there, he was at practice or whatever, and the coach pretty much threw off, cursed at him and said, hey, y'all need to effing respect your elders. And him, being a young person, was like, he fired back off and cursed at him. Well, the very next day he was expelled from school. His private school apparently cost $38,000 to attend this school. He is African American. His mom and him are contesting this expulsion. They're saying, hey, we didn't get really notice about anything. We just told he couldn't come back to school. Yeah. We want his records. We want his transcript. They tell him we have to pay a fee for that. I think they at least need to let him back in school, because it's really ridiculous, considering ideally what they're saying is coaches have a history of being very loose with their language with their players. Mm. And I know this from your own experience.
Talk about it.
And for them to say that he gets expelled but the coach doesn't get disciplined is really interesting. So to get behind him, Dwayne Wade and Gabrielle Union are behind him. Apparently he's also a friend of Dwayne Wade's son, who also attends the school. And they also have attorney Ben Crump. Ben Crump was called on for a civil rights violation. They're like, their rights are being violated. His mom was like, this makes no sense. I had to take an extra job just to get him to go to the school because, again, they're in Florida. They want him to have the best education. They want him to have opportunities, and he happens to be a child with a lot of talent and skill. He's in his senior year. So expelling him during his senior year is going to be problematic. So what do you think about that?
I think it's disgusting. I think it's oh gosh, what's the word I'm looking for? It's a contradiction. It's absolutely a contradiction, simply because you stated it. Coaches talk flippantly to athletes all the time. I don't care at what level. Maybe not at the Pee Wee level, right? At the Little League level, because they're kids. I would hope they didn't do that. In my experience, that didn't happen. But once I got to junior high, it was a wrap. It was a wrap. Junior high was a wrap. They was cussing at me. High school, they were cussing at me. At both high schools I went to. College, oh my gosh. Oh Lord. And the pros, come on, man. And so at every level, that seems par for the course. Unfortunately, for coaches to speak to their male athletes like that. I've seen it. I've even seen it on the female side. I don't think it is as common, but it definitely with young men and boys, that's common. So, there's a scripture that says do not provoke your children. And when a child, and I'm paraphrasing that scripture, and when a child or when a young man or a teenager, exactly, and when a teenager responds in kind because you came at them left, you can't get upset with that. And the fact that the school has not levied any kind of punishment or punitive action or corrective action to the coach sickens me. It's disgusting and it's deplorable.
Well, I think to hear that, the first thing I thought about, this is how the toxic masculinity happens. This is one of those seeds for toxic masculinity, when you're saying this is what you do to be a man in sports. This is how I treat you. This is how the expectation of how I'm going to treat you and what you're going to do. I feel like that creates that toxic masculinity. And for you to say, well, I'm going to bound you from being able to respond to me, and then at the same time go along and just, it just went off to me. I feel like it just went the wrong way. I feel like they should not expel the young man. I feel like they should have maybe
he absolutely shouldn't be expelled.
I feel like the fact that the coach reported him but didn't report himself. I mean, it's that whole little cycle of, like, the fact that other young men were saying they can vouch that he actually did curse at him and probably have been cursing at them all semester. Like, that whole vibe of I'm treating you differently than you can treat me, and you're going to pay for it, and then you're going to get kicked out of school.
And then what frustrates me is they're holding his transcripts, right?
Yeah.
They're trying to make him pay. So there may be the policy, but again, let's exercise. When you're in a leadership position, I think it's imperative that you exercise some wisdom and some common sense. Mm-hmm. Don't hold this child back from being able to get his transcript. His mom is already paying $38,000 a year in tuition. She said she had 2 jobs, right? Mm-hmm. And so it's one of those things, man, that I think it's really important that we hold our leaders accountable, and they need to be held accountable. And I want to talk to our Facebook Live folks and hold you accountable and ask and make sure that you subscribe to our show on all the major platforms, including iTunes, SoundCloud, Google Play, and Stitcher. And please review our show on iTunes with constructive feedback. Be nice. And share this Facebook Live post and the entire show with your family and friends. Now, you can also donate to this mission to bring enriched and inspiring content each and every week. You can donate at www.thesphere.tv/donate. We appreciate everyone for tuning in. We thank you so much for hanging out with us. I want to give a shout out to Andre Dorian. What up, Dad? How you doing? Uncle Cal, what's going on? Thank you guys. Mama Petra, appreciate you guys tuning in, and we'll see you all next time. Go to the website and hit subscribe.
Now, listen, something else interesting going on. I guess it's kind of like a victory. So it's a victory shout out to Kevin Hart, a victory for him. Now he got a role on Blackish, so I consider him like the black cat, Blackish.
Yeah, I love
I've got a
Black
role
Cat.
on Blackish, but it's going to be interesting to see him play this role on Blackish, because Blackish is on ABC. It is considered a family-friendly, wholesome network, and of course he has been in and out of issues. He's had recurring issues
For his career.
for his career, issues with the law, issues with alcohol and drugs, things that have plagued his career. So a lot of people are saying like this is his final run, this is a final attempt at, really getting him back in industry. Although
especially in mainstream television.
Mainstream industry, although we know he had opportunities in the past to write for shows.
Yeah, he's written for a lot of shows.
Being in front of the camera is going to be different. So preferably this is not a situation where preferably this is a situation that he can show that he's able to roll in front of the big screen and the small screen, big screen, because TV is actually a thing now. People actually go watch TV again.
Yeah.
So it's a thing.
It's because his talent speaks for himself. Everyone that works for him says he's one of the most talented writers and actors in the game.
Right.
So he was Kevin. There would be no Kevin Hart without Cat Williams because he was the biggest comic in the world at one time. At one time. And so what I'm saying is, his talent is that great, is that magnificent, and so I just want him to. I just really hope he get his stuff together, and he walks it straight and narrow. He got 5 kids. What I'm saying?
I think that I get that, I like you said, I hope he walks it straight and narrow. This is an opportunity. Yes, he was before those people, but I think a lot of those people learned from him.
No, agreed.
Learn what not to do as well.
Agreed.
Because this, we know, we don't personally know it every day right now, but we know that it comes with a lot, and you have to have a certain level of maturity to handle the spotlight. You just can't continue living like you ain't under a microscope.
No, agreed.
You can't.
I'm just simply saying that his talent is so phenomenal that his colleagues will say, yo, when it comes to, for the lack of a better term, in between the lines, they're like, he's one of the best to ever do it.
Absolutely.
So let's just make sure his off the court, off screen, behavior and life mirrors what ABC, because ABC is owned by Disney, so it's a family network.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
So they're not having it if it's gonna be if it's gonna be some tomfoolery.
Absolutely, and I thought about that. Let's transition into Kevin Hart's story and about like dealing with the limelight. Kevin Hart, is dealing with this situation where, of course, I think we mentioned it before, but let's circling back.
Please.
Some troll went and found some tweets from 2009, 2010, whatever it was, or 11 or something like that, where he had a homophobic tweet. And he talked about what he would not, or what his son, or something to that effect. I'm not sure exactly what the specific tweet was. A lot of people have come out in defense of Kevin Hart, like, listen, he's a comic. These are jokes. We have become very sensitive, to the point where, Kevin's kind of like, I decline the Oscars if y'all are not gonna take the time to actually research my response to it originally,
right,
where I actually apologize for that. I'm declining the role. I thank you, and I think that, although I know we talked about this before, but I started thinking about it, like, yeah, I get that you don't want to keep addressing something, but you shouldn't let somebody mess up your bag. You shouldn't let anybody mess up your bag, because if you really, to me, you're apologizing and you addressed it, and I get it, but I don't necessarily know if I would have went live on FB or Instagram like he did to address it to the world before he took some time to really think, because what he said was, I just hung up the phone with the Oscars. I probably took some time and think through what I was going to say.
I'm with that game. I really am.
And maybe strategy.
But at the same time, he's not hurting for a bag.
No. He's not.
So he's been at a level of success for so long to where he owns his own content, right? He just got a $40 million deal with Netflix. The Laugh Out Loud network is doing well. He's touring across the world. He owns all of his content, and so he's making money hand over foot. I don't think it's an issue. He's already crossover. He's gotten into that kind of that Chris Rock, that kind of the audience that kind of tapping into Dave Chappelle's audience who's super crossover. Mm-hmm. I don't think it's about a bag for him. I actually agree with what he said about not letting the trolls win, because these internet trolls, they live to screw somebody up.
No, for sure.
And you address it once, and you look at so many other Hollywood types and so many other people of influence. To me, that's the formula. You address it once, and you keep it pushing, because if you keep bringing it back up, people are going to keep holding you to that standard, especially in such a sensitive environment.
No, and I get that, and I totally get that. I just feel like what he said, even his ex-wife was like, listen, I didn't want him to mess up that opportunity, but I do understand that he's a comedian, and I know for a fact that he's not anti-gay person. He's not that. So she even came out in defense of. She was like, I hate that he pretty much shut down the opportunity for the Oscars, and I think that's what everybody's like. You don't mess up but not to say the Oscars is going to make you, and I'm not saying that. I really wish that to me, he would have took a little moment before he just kind of hopped on, hopped off, and said, hey, let me kind of process what's going on here, because I don't know. I don't know. I'm not in that situation to actually really for me, it's kind of like maybe I wouldn't have went back and apologized, but maybe I would have said something else. Maybe I'd have said like, hey, if you really want to know, because he never said check my apology. He just said just do the digging. You know what I mean? Like he said I've already addressed it. He never said I already apologized for it. So it's the way people process.
I I'd have to look at the video. I thought he did say I apologized.
No, he said I addressed it already.
Well, I thought he said I addressed it in the apology. Well, regardless.
But it was saying I feel like.
But I agree with his logic that listen, the same digging it took to go back to 2010,
I get with that.
8 years ago is the same digging.
I get that.
To see, how I handled it.
But I feel like I really would have taken some more time to think through my complete response, because I probably would have said something like, this is me being really analytical. Hey, I'm not here for the trolls, but this is the thing. Obviously, the trolls don't want me, young black man, on stage. And I would have went there, and like for all the reasons, and I would have did my research, like some of his supporters did. You didn't. Y'all don't say nothing about Amy Schumer with her tweets.
That's
y'all
what
don't say
Nick
about
Cannon did.
Chelsea Handler with her tweets. Y'all don't say nothing. And I would have went down and listed all these comedians and all other people in these different lanes that have had said something. Chris Rock has been whoever Chris Rock has been for years, and he's hosted the Oscars a few times. Like
I don't think he would have done that, and I don't think that would be wise because those are his contemporaries.
No. Contemporaries, but I think it's the point of just put us all on the same playing field.
No, for sure on that.
Treat us all the same.
You agree.
Don't get upset.
You're absolutely right. That they
so
need
I think
to do
it's
that.
not to throw them on the bus. I'm saying if you just took some time to think about it, I'm not trying to throw them under the bus, but I want y'all to realize that I'm no different than any other comedian. I am a comedian.
Yeah. Again,
I laugh. I joke about that, and I also joke about people that look like me.
Yeah.
I joke about everything.
He clowns himself more than he clowns anybody.
I clown everybody.
Yeah.
Everybody's here for the taking. So I probably would have kind of addressed it as a comedian, but that's me.
Yeah. We're different in our personalities.
No, I'm saying that's just
one.
me.
Yeah.
I would probably have addressed it fully, and then I would have shut it down. Maybe I wouldn't have dug up the apology. I'm like, but you realize this is what I get paid to do.
Yeah.
Everybody gets a joke. Jesus might get a joke. I mean, you know what I mean? Like, you see what I'm saying? Like everybody gets a jab.
Yeah.
So it is what it is. But anyways, on to the other thing, Betty DeVos. I noticed you love her.
Yeah, whatever.
You love Betty.
Betsy can kick rock.
Betsy, whatever. She has been problematic since she took that particular position, and now she is trying to roll back some Obama-era guidelines.
I feel like that's what all the Republicans. I'm sorry for cutting you off. I just feel like this is what the administration wants to do. They just okay. You know what? We got a list of Obama. We have a list of Obama policies and things he's gotten together, and we just gonna we got that one repealed. We get this one. Like it just frustrates me, man.
But I want to know, and I wasn't paying attention before in the past. But has this ever happened to any other president?
It does. It honestly it does. We're just sensitive because he
who he is. He's 44. He's forever 44.
Yeah.
I mean, he had a cool number and everything. So I think it is. It's interesting that a lot of the things that they're rolling back are usually to protect those people who have not had protections in the past. We talk about insurance and health care. We talk about, all those things that really matter. Now we're talking about this particular thing that was put into place that was specifically they're talking, pretty much say she's trying to roll back some civil rights protections for black students under the guise of safety. She's saying that they don't need the thing that President Obama implemented. What they really need is to have teachers with guidelines to help them in the classroom, and these guidelines have nothing to do with protections for the whole school. It's just what the teachers can bring to class. And so a lot of people are like, well, okay, so you're gonna what you're really saying is the teachers can bring guns to class, and if they fear for their lives, then you can pretty much shoot to kill. And Obama was in with this this particular protection, this civil rights protection. He was saying, I'm protecting those kids from this school to prison pipeline thing that was happening, where our students, persons of color, are disproportionately disciplined such that they wind up on this pathway to prison because the expulsions and the alternative school situations, and when you're getting, you're always getting suspended every couple of days, those type of issues where they're constantly being corrected. It is a prison to pipeline situation.
Listen, it frustrates me. It absolutely frustrates me because, why are guns this important? To me, that's just why are guns this important? Please tell me. And I'm a Texan, you know what I'm saying? And I grew up shooting. But why are guns this important? I
And
just don't understand.
And I stay and I keep saying it, and I'm standing. We are not in the Wild West. It's no need for anybody to be running around here trying to keep order with a gun. The reason why people have guns because they're scared of guns, and they trying to do, you know what I'm saying? They trying to meet force with force.
Stupid, man.
And it doesn't make sense. If you just take them off the street, no one has a need for them. At what point do we need a gun?
I go back to this thing about common sense.
I don't know.
Like, apply the law. Apply the Constitution, which is considered a living document, right? And it is an amazingly well-written document. One of the best, one of the dopest documents in the world, outside of the Bible and the Quran. Where the wisdom and things can be applied intergenerationally. But again, certain things just don't. They just shouldn't be in this time. You know what I'm saying, Kira? They just really shouldn't be in this time.
And I agree with that. And for that, man, I really want to say that I wish we could be more happier about the stuff that's going on. But we can smile about other stuff that's happening. We can. So this portion of our show is sponsored by Elite Dental Wellness. At Elite Dental Wellness, our vision is to create a welcoming atmosphere our vision is to create a welcoming practice that will offer an exceptional dental care and a lifetime of dental wellness. We are committed to the finest possible oral care and the overall health and well-being of our patients. Elite Dental Wellness is built upon the foundation of integrity, expertise, and service. Through our commitment to modern dentistry, continuing education, and a friendly atmosphere, we strive to make our patients feel that they are part of our family. Dentistry can be scary, daunting, and uncomfortable. Dr. Batiste and her team work tirelessly to ensure your comfort. Make your appointment today with Dr. Chandra Batiste at Elite Dental Wellness by calling 713-789-8680. Again, the number is 713-789-8680. Elite Dental Wellness. That's a bling. Bling. That's a bling. But yes, I going back to the Betsy DeVos story.
We ain't got to talk about her no more, man. I ain't trying to get you, but it's frustrating.
I just want to. This is why I want to say this. I want to just state these facts. Okay, so the Obama-era guidelines were meant to dismantle, at least in part, the school-to-prison pipeline, the nationwide phenomenon in which students are punished for offenses at variant as wearing the wrong color hoodie to getting in fistfights and are then funneled to the juvenile and criminal justice system. Black children, particularly black boys, are disproportionately affected. Despite making up just 15% of all students, black boys represent more than a third of all students who have been suspended once. The rate leaps up to 44% of students suspended more than once and 36% of students who are suspended more than 3 times. Or expelled. Mm-hmm. So I just wanted to state those facts. So it is important for us, again, the same galvanization we had going into the midterm elections is the same energy we need to bring to this next set of elections that's coming up, the same energy we need to bring for local government, the same energy we need to bring for the national government. We need to bring the same, we need to know what these people stand for before they can even get this far to be put in these positions, right?
Yeah, man.
We need to know what these people think.
2020 is coming up. Make sure you're
because we got
registered to vote and you're paying attention to what's going on right now.
Because we got children. I mean, we have another generation, and these kids, let them be kids. They're gonna make mistakes, but they don't need to go to jail.
Come on, man. Common sense.
Kids make mistakes.
I keep saying this. Common sense. I want to go to every law school around the country and talk about, and to judges and to legislators, and just talk, common sense, fam. Let's just use it. Let's apply it. Jeez Louise. Everything is not blanket.
Well, I mean, on a happy note, Janet Jackson finally got inducted to the Rock and Roll
and
Hall
that makes
of Fame.
me mad too, because she should have been there.
She should have been there. Questlove said, pretty much she should have been there a long time ago. She is not riding on the backs of her brother or the Jackson 5 or anybody else.
Never
She's been a talent. This woman has been recognized by VH1, MTV, Black Girls Rock. I mean, she is a phenom when you think about it. She has done nothing but
there's no Rihanna without her.
Right. Cultivate the culture for music.
There's no Beyonce because she was the first one doing crazy dope shows.
Shows, flipping backwards off. I mean, the reason why she walks with a limp is because she hurt herself in the Control video. Y'all didn't know that.
Right.
Y'all better know your facts. And she walks with a slight little limp, she called it her sexy limp because she hurt her leg and never really fully came back.
Anything Janet Jackson do is sexy because that's just Janet Jackson.
I appreciate
Miss Jackson,
that.
if you're nasty.
Okay.
That's what she said. I'm just repeating what the sister said.
Well,
but I am excited about her going to the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. She really deserves it.
She deserves it. She should have been on there a long time ago. And I was going to be petty and say, well, did they punish her because of what happened back with the Super Bowl? She should have been there a long time ago. But
and they may
again,
have. Well, you know how that goes, man.
We never can tell, but it's about time. So I'm glad that she's getting her
She did get in, right?
She did get in.
And she deserves. Let's give her one clap.
She gets in. She deserves it. Now, Ice. Let's talk about Ice.
Ice. You talking about Vanilla Ice? Ice Baby?
It is a cold situation, but we're not talking about.
That was dope. Good job.
It's not. We're not talking about him. We're not talking about him. We're talking about ICE as in the government regulators.
Yeah, Immigration, Customs, and Enforcement.
These people have been. This particular arm of the law has been.
There's no and.
There is no and?
No, it's Immigration, Customs, Enforcement.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
I didn't know.
My bad.
Well, there's a lot of things going on with ICE. So we know that, of course, we've seen the camps that's been going on, and we've seen kind of like the raids in the bus. Well, they've been doing this particular year, they've done a lot of workplace busts, right? So the workplace raids over this past year have jumped to thousands. Before in the past, I think it might have been hundreds. Now we're at thousands, right? The number of workplace investigated and raided jumped with stricter Trump administration policies. Earlier this year, ICE raided nearly 100 7-Eleven stores across the country. The agency said the raids were meant to serve as a strong message to other businesses to follow the law by not hiring undocumented workers. Why did y'all target 7-Elevens? Let's talk about why was 7-Eleven a target. What do y'all know about 7-Eleven that y'all had to bust 100? Okay. And then they said the data showed that the majority of those arrested were employees. In total, there were 2,304 total arrests this fiscal year. 1,500 of those were administrative arrests, which are deemed to have committed any other offense. So those people that were arrested weren't deemed to have done nothing but just be at work illegally.
Yeah.
So my thing is, this is my thing about the immigration. When I feel like, I mean, we're America, we're a superpower, right? If you are busting people at work, clearly they want to work because they're trying to survive. Find some way to tax those people. If you feel like they're getting paid under the table, process them and figure out a situation where you can tax them and get them on the right track. Most of these people pay taxes anyway because they have to buy groceries, they buy clothes, they buy gas. So they're taxed on all the stuff that they're paying for in the country. If you're worried about their wages, then tax them for wages. But outside of that, why can't we do things in such a way that, like, what clearly these people have been here. It's not like they just came, right? They didn't come over the invisible wall. They've been here. So since they've been here, figure out a way to put them in the system and process them.
Yeah. You know, there's nothing really more for me to add. You know, get them here. They're working. So go ahead and give them a work visa. Do your vetting. It doesn't really take that long. Do your vetting. Give them a work visa so that they'll be able to pay payroll taxes. It's that simple. Because as you stated, most people think they don't pay taxes, but their sales taxes they have to pay.
Absolutely.
Even when you rent, your taxes are included in your rent.
Taxes.
This is why rent prices are so high in more well-to-do areas because the taxes are high. So that means the rental person who owns the property, the people that own the property, they are paying higher taxes, so then it funnels down to the renter. So they still paying taxes. So stop the bull, man.
Stop the bull. So with that in mind, and talk about businesses and building a business, this portion of our show is sponsored by The Sphere. Hey now, are you starting your business and looking for a place to advertise? Do you have a need to reach out to thousands of people across the world to build your brand or sell your product? If so, get your product placement and advertising needs handled right here at The Sphere. We offer a wide variety of content delivery platforms, including iTunes, Google Play, SoundCloud, YouTube, and Stitcher. Plus, we have a vast demographic reach within the United States, as well as modern countries across the globe. Our enriched content and inspiring dialogue, coupled with your strategic ad, is surely to hit the mark every time. Call us today at area code 832-772-7789 or send an email over to advertise@thesphere.tv. Again, the number is 832-772-7789 or send an email over to advertise@thesphere.tv. Y'all are so cray-cray.
Listen. Make sure you get your product placement right here. We have thousands of people that listen and watch. They can see what's going on and get you going. You did.
Okay, now let's kind of, we got to talk about two Michelles before we leave.
Okay.
This first Michelle we're going to talk about, it's a real serious conversation. We're going to circle back and have some doctors talk about this one. But Michelle Williams actually has taken a break or a leave of absence from her Broadway show. And the reason why is that she's the doctors have ordered her to step away from the play. They haven't really been clear about why she's stepping away from the play, but we know in the past few weeks she's been very public about her breakup with her fiance.
Yeah.
She's also talked about, apparently in the past, about the type of stress she's under. She gets on IG and talks about how she's having good days and bad days. And someone noted that a lot of her issues have actually started based upon her actually participating in Coachella recently. Not that they were there before Coachella, let me say that, but they started bubbling up during Coachella. She said that they had to, pretty much the year building up to Coachella with the practices and the rehearsals or whatever,
Right.
it just kind of, stuff just started being overwhelming to her. Now she's dealing with depression. I don't necessarily know what that feels like, but here it is. People would assume that because she's Michelle Williams, she's a part of Destiny's Child, she's a part of a very popular, well-known group, that she shouldn't have any issues, but that we cannot look at depression like that, right? And so she was like, a lot of things she was dealing with, she was burying it just to be able to get to Coachella. Like, let me bury all the things I'm feeling right now. And she said when she finally came up out of it, she realized she was in a pit. Right, she was in a hole. She said, I thought I'm good now. She said, now she got with Chad, I'm good now. I got love. She said, but that wasn't it. She said, although he's not the cause of anything, he is actually, he's actually been very helpful in assisting. But at the end of the day, depression is what it is.
Yeah. It is what it is. And I tell you, it's one of those things, man, that we can't turn a blind eye to it. We can't say that it's not that serious. You just never know what people are dealing with, right? And so just because somebody makes a lot of money, just because somebody's very successful, just because they have fame and notoriety, doesn't mean that they aren't dealing with things internally. So my heart goes out to Michelle Williams. My heart goes out to her and her family, dealing with what she's been dealing with. It's something that's pretty rough, man. I think that we just have to be sensitive and continue to grow in these conversations regarding mental health. We need to continue to grow in these conversations, about what people are dealing with in their quiet time in their lives, because it's just really, really, it can be really, really challenging, especially when someone doesn't have as much privacy to deal with things as a celebrity does, or someone who has some notoriety. So praying for Michelle Williams, man, really I am. It's something that we have to. We just need to be sensitive about. We really, really, really should be sensitive about it. We got to be sensitive to it.
And I think that, again, I feel like as, you're processing what the weight of depression, the weight of what that looks like, the weight of, just everyday situations that happen, you have to know that it's just not easy. And I can't imagine, I was telling someone the other day, I was like, when she talked about, her and her fiance not being together anymore, I was like, I think he's banking that they're going to get together. She's just going through something. Because he was like, the highs and lows of that emotional, whatever triggers it, feeling like you're just not enough or you're not where you're supposed to be, that makes you move away from a person or separate yourself from a daily situation. It's a lot. So we are praying for her. We really are. So our thoughts are with her. But on another note, on some swing in a different direction, Michelle Obama is coming to the H, and we've been waiting for you. Like, I was trying to figure out, did you forget about Houston? Because we love y'all.
Listen, that was our first date.
Our first date was at your husband convention rally. For sure. In 2007, we were all for him. 2008, I think it was 2008. Yeah. 2008, we were like, that was our first real date, and we went to it, and we was we were pro y'all then, and we pro you now. So
I'm excited about March 2nd. March 2nd, Mrs. Obama will be here. March 2nd, she will, she's going to be gracing us here in H-Town, hanging out with us, and it's been all over social media. A lot of our friends, colleagues, folks we really are connected to, they're like, listen, I can't even do anything because they're just waiting. I think the tickets went on sale at 10 a.m. today.
No, I think it's tomorrow, the 15th. tomorrow.
Really? Oh, okay. Well, based upon what people were saying, they were saying that the pre-sale was at 10 a.m. Was at 10 a.m. today.
No, it's on sale. General Public tomorrow.
Yeah, General Public, but pre-sale was today.
Oh, I guess they got that big money.
Yeah,
they must got that American Express this time.
Listen, some of the folks we run with, hey,
they big time.
We trying to get on that level. But I'm excited about everything that she's doing. She's done so much with class and so much with grace, and you can't knock her accomplishments as a professional, as a mother, as a wife, as a business person. So I think we should clap Mrs. Obama as well.
She deserves it, and I am hopeful that we will be in the building when she gets to the H-Town. If not, we'll be in the building in one of those places.
We got to go online and get these tickets.
Y'all can
swipe,
or y'all can sew a ticket because we will receive a ticket.
Listen. We will receive. 'Tis better to give, and we will receive.
Absolutely. So this has been amazing.
It has. It's been fun.
It has been an amazing show, and I'm so glad to have been able to do it with you today.
I appreciate you. Thank you for doing it with me. Because you know what? We're like LL Cool J. We doing it and doing it and doing it well.
So my name is Kira Laws. You can follow me on Instagram at TheModernDayCindy. That's Cindy with an I, not a Y.
And I am Kaylin Demond Laws, a.k.a. Senor Wapo. Go to Instagram. Follow me at SENORGUAPO713.
He was a Philip Spelling Bee winner, y'all.
I was. I really, really was. This has been fun for Society Now. We'll see you next time.
Next time.